G'day guys, Grazer, and thanks for tuning in. Doing something completely different today. We're up on the mighty Murray. We're here with Justin from Trelley's in Bendigo, and we're going to be spending a fair bit of time in this video having a look at our cod setup, our rods, our reels, our lures, our leaders. We're going to be taking a bit of a look at the range that Trelleys sell in their stores. We're going to jump in the boat, have a really good look, and hopefully you'll get something from it. As you can see, absolute pearler day on the Murray. So we're going to jump in the boat. We're going to spend a bit of time here with Justin. Now, rod and reel, so recommendations. There's a lot of different sort of rods on the market. So you've brought your personal rod and reels here today.
Yep.
So what are your go-tos when it comes to selecting a good rod to start with, for especially chasing big cod?
Well, we're a bit of a fan of the Ian Miller range. I've got 3 setups here. These are all mine. I've got them paired with Daiwa reels, and I've sort of got one to cover every scenario here. So this morning we started off with surface lures, so we've now got the spinnerbaits and cod jigs and bits and pieces on. But the biggest one in my range is the Dream Freak. So I'll just pop these down here. So this is an Ian Miller Dream Freak 710 extra heavy. Absolute cracking rod for throwing the bigger stuff. As you can see, I've got a big Bassman XL spinnerbait on this. Does it with ease. Yep. I've matched it up with a Daiwa Lexa with a big power handle. Not everyone's cup of tea, but as I was showing Grazer before, it's a very, very smooth setup to fish with. This rod handles all your big swim baits, all your big, like your mag drafts, your damn gigantrals, you name it. You can pretty much throw it on this. It does throw, I'll have to refer to the thing here, but it throws a fairly hefty weight of up to 8 ounces.
Yeah.
So it's going to cover a lot of your bigger lures, and for this type of stuff, it's absolutely perfect to just that slow roll, nice and deep, just crank it along, do it all day.
So that's one of the biggest rods that's in your arsenal there, Just?
Yeah, this is the biggest I have.
So in the Miller range, is that one of the largest sort of rods that you potentially...
There's one other, a Swim Sanity,
that's
bigger than this, and that's for your 10, 12 inch lures. This will do up to about 10 inch, and then that one's the biggest. So this is about as big as I need to go personally. And yeah, just a fantastic rod.
So that's your sort of first go-to rod, like today we've come up, we've sort of flicking surface first thing. That's your first sort of go-to rod. It's got a really good base in it, really good core. Really reef that nice big bait out pretty well all day with no problems
just
at all.
Does it with ease, because if you don't put big lures on the right rod, you're just going to struggle. So it's just an easy setup. Does it, fish it all day.
So you've got a couple others there, Just. So you've got one there with a 1 ounce spinnerbait on there as well.
So this one here, this one's the Ambush. So it's also casts up to about 6 ounces. It's a fairly heavy setup. The thing is with the Ambush, it's a 7-foot rod. So it's a little bit shorter than this guy, and it's good when you want to use the bigger lures but in a tighter space. And also, so I'd use a lot of the same things on this rod, but this one can be a little bit easier to manipulate in certain situations. They've both got plenty of power in them, so if you hook a big fish up around that metre plus on either of these, you're going to handle it with ease. It's not going to be an issue at all. Your smaller fish, it's sort of almost overkill, but Yeah, they're just beautifully designed. The actions are perfect for fishing these sorts of lures. This one here is one of the new cod jigs from Bassman. You know, if you're using live technology, this will swim down nice and quick. And this, if you hook up on this rod, you can set the hook. Oodles of power. It's not going to be an issue. I've got a 300 Tatula on this particular one. Matches it perfectly in the 6.3. Nice big handles, plenty of power. Yeah, plenty of line capacity, 50-pound braid, 60-pound leader on both of these setups. Yeah, pretty much covers everything from surface down to spinnerbaits.
Yeah. So with the ambush, it's the 702H, I think it is,
Yes, heavy.
in the Miller rod. I've actually got one myself. I spent 8 days casting big surface lures, doing a drift down the Murray. Yeah, it was just an absolute dream stick. Just had no problems whatsoever, just reefing that big ballista lures, those big weight baits, and even throwing around those big spinner baits. So really good stick, really good core. I actually done a bit of bait fishing with it as well. And what I liked about the 702 was it just had a really good core in it, especially when you're fighting a fish against the current, especially in some of those places like below the weirs, like you know, Cobram, Tokemore, where there's quite a bit of current. It just has that ability to pull that fish against the current.
You've got a lot of control.
Yeah.
With these rods, that's one thing they give you. You've got a lot of control, because you'll find with some rods, they haven't got the backbone. They, you know, some may say they're too stiff, but I find the Millers aren't. They just load nicely. You know, they're all designed to do specific things, and these sorts of lures fish just absolutely perfect on these rods.
And there's a lot to do with comfort too, isn't there,
Yes.
Justin? Like just having a rod that you've got the confidence that you can throw all day,
Cast them all
but
day.
comfortable enough where you've got that grip, and the balance in them, I just find it absolutely excellent.
These are what I call Rolls Royce setups.
Yeah.
They just fish. It's like fishing with butter, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
I got one more to show you.
Yep.
So there's another Miller.
Yep. So this
another
is something
dollar.
you use for cod fishing as well, Justin?
Yep. So as you can see, I've got a smaller lure on here. So this is one called the Cod Freak, 8 to 15 kilo rod. Now this is more of an all-rounder. So it sounds heavy at 8 to 15 kilos, but I find it fishes really well with hard bodies like this. Even some of your like up to 1 ounce spinnerbaits, it'll fish. I do prefer to fish them on this rod, but it'll do it. The other thing, like your Jackal TN80s, Doozers, I like to throw on this. It just, I don't know, it just is a really, really good all-round rod if you're looking to just fish your medium sort of to larger style lures. But just, yeah, just a good one to have in the arsenal. You know, for the guys that don't really want to go to this bigger stuff, this will cover nearly everything.
Yeah.
At 8 to 15 kilos. I got a Daiwa Tertullian on that one with a power handle. Yeah, once again, excellent reel.
Yeah.
I've got a bit lighter line on this. I got 40 and 40. You could go 50 and 50, but I just went a little bit lighter on the line size here. 40 is still plenty strong enough for most situations, and just because of the size of the lures I'm fishing. I don't really need to run that on 60 pound.
And I've seen you throwing that this morning out there with our little session this morning. It just gets that nice light lure out perfectly, Justin.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Lures this size, it works unbelievable with. It's got a beautiful action with it, you know, a little bit softer in the tip, and it just loads up nice through the blank. Once again, plenty of control when you hook a big fish. All these setups are just, like, yeah, they're phenomenal, and there's something we obviously stock in the shop, so we're not talking rubbish to you when you come in. These are setups we fish with, and yeah, we can highly recommend them. You know,
so very much a scenario where you use what you sell, Justin.
Correct. Yeah, we use what we sell. This is all stuff we sell. So yeah, we sort of put our money where our mouth is, and hopefully put it in the fish.
And I was obviously a little bit reluctant, and as Justin said, they're pretty well the Rolls Royce of when it comes to Murray cod sticks. It's one of those ones. It's from a pricing point of view, yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but once you've sort of used one, I tell you, I could never go back to another rod now. So yeah, ambush. There's, as Justin says, there's a massive range that Trelleys carry. So once again, if you need any help with selecting the right rod for the right application, whether you're throwing those big surface lures around, those big heavy spinner baits, or if you're just looking at throwing around, you know, the little hard body, absolutely perfect options when it comes to the Murray rods. So. Alrighty, so line and leader.
Rightio.
Justin, what do you recommend? What's some of the options that you've got at your stores in Trelleys? Yep. And what's your go-to when it comes to personal leader and line?
Tons of good line, obviously. We've got heaps of different brands. They're all good. I've used every one. Right now, at the moment, we're running the Atomic Lines braid from Frogley's Offshore. We're finding a bit of a dark horse in the lineup at our shop. Like, I've used all the other stuff and it's fantastic, but we're finding this to be ultra thin and smooth. Like, just, it's an 8x braid. It casts absolutely phenomenal. It's just ties a beautiful knot. Yeah, comes from the guys at Frogley's Offshore. And yeah, I'm just currently running the multicolour on all mine because I like that sort of bit of a camo effect, I guess, in the water. I don't like a solid colour. I know it's probably a 1%er, probably overthinking it, but I just like, you know, like that sort of, the line changes colour every now and then just to sort of break things up. So yeah, highly recommended. Beautiful stuff.
So you find that good for tying knots, like tying your F
ties a magnificent FJ. Yeah. So, no, I'm loving it at the moment. Cast absolutely comes off the reel like butter. We're matching it up with the Jinkai leader.
So your go-to, sorry Justin, so just for the guys that are watching, so I see you've got a 50 and a 40 there. That would be the most common sort of size braid you would use.
Yeah, for cod fishing, anywhere from 30 to 50, but at the moment I've got 50 and 40 on these reels. 50 on the bigger ones, 40. Some people like to go heavier, and you definitely could in this because it's so damn thin. You could run 60 or more if you wanted to.
Okay, and leader?
Yep, so with the leaders, one we stock at the shop, is very popular, is the Jinkai leader. We've got the Jinkai Plus and the green here at the moment. The Jinkai Plus has a tougher coating on it, so it's a little bit stiffer, so probably slightly better abrasion resistance if you're fishing around a lot of rock or something, maybe in impoundments, places like that. The green's just that little bit more supple. I prefer the green personally, fishing in the Murray. I just find it a little bit easier to tie up and that, and 60s heaps. Like, it comes in all the different sizes from, you know, sort of about, there's a couple of different lines. There's actually a Jinkai Premium as well, which covers the lighter sizes under 20 pound. And then this stuff starts at 20 and goes up to 200 or something like that. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. So a quick look at the rods and the go-to rods for Justin, some of the gear that they stock at Trelleys, and yeah, my personal favourite is the Miller in the ambush, which I've had a lot of experience with and I strongly recommend it. Alrighty, so we all love to catch fish off the surface. I know I do. That said, it's been shit a very long time for me, but maybe I need some additional advice. But anyway, we're going to ask Justin about some of the range that those guys stock. And Bassman, Justin, been around for a little while?
Yeah, just a few years.
Yeah, and this is some of their surface lure stuff, that the range that they've got available?
Yeah, so you know, people know them for their spinnerbaits, but we just thought we'd highlight, you know, the surface lure range, and they've got some hard bodies as well. So right here in front of me, we've got the Aussie crawlers with the wings on them.
Yep.
They work extremely well in areas with current. You can fish them anywhere, but if you're fishing a river, fast flowing, lot of current, these work exceptionally well. They'll paddle across uninterrupted. I find even in areas when there's a little bit of chop and that, they still work extremely well because they're made to work that little bit quicker. You can work them super slow, but long story short, super versatile little lure. And just a great size just for all round, anything up to the biggest fish you'll see get caught on these. So yeah.
Perfect for impoundments, anywhere like Lake Gildan. So basically a real versatile. You can throw them on the Murray. Yep.
Yep, mainly, and small creeks and stuff, and anywhere where you got a lot of current. You know, they cut across that fast flowing water very well. And yeah, you can fish them when the wind gets up in impoundments and anywhere really. But just a very versatile lure, just a good size, 55 grams. Most of the decent rods will cast them.
Yeah. So you don't need really super heavy gear to get one of those out. What size are they again?
So they're 120 mil.
120 mil.
55 grams.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
so this is the big guys there, Justin.
Yeah. So these are perfect for like where we are today. We didn't have any luck this morning, but that's winter for you. If you want to chase that really, really big fish and you want that presence, that's sort of what you're looking for. 230 mil. They're not super heavy. I'm actually not 100% sure on the weight of these, but yeah, they get out there pretty good. Like I said, I fish them on that Dream Freak. Not a problem in the world. You know, you'll just belt it out there as far as you want. Just a slow retrieve, and they just come in nicely with a beautiful action. And
they actually land pretty well on the water top, don't they? They're not like a big ballista or something like that just make that really heavy.
They land pretty soft actually for their size. So yeah, something to keep in mind with the way the cod are getting fairly cagey these days. So this is a very good option for chasing them in winter. Unfortunately, it's a game of persistence. So you need more than one morning, don't you, Graz?
Yeah, you do.
But you never know. So yeah, just a great option from Bassman there. So yeah, you've got two very good lures there that cover both size ranges and pretty much will catch anything from a 50 centimetre right through to the biggest fish you could drag out of here. So,
and you'd say that the trebles on those, buying them off the shelf, are fine.
No, they're decent. These ones here, like, they look pretty decent quality to me, and these ones here will definitely pass the test. But you can always upgrade them if you're not sure. They've got decent split rings. The hook's well and truly big enough. You know, if a fish gets that properly, he's not going to come off.
So the 230 mil weight walker are a really good option for especially mid-July, what we are now chasing a big winter cod. So.
Yes, correct.
And that's just some of the range in colours. There's quite a variation in colours, I would suspect. Justin.
Yeah, there is. There's more colours than this. This is just a sample. These are the newer colours, some of the newer colours. And we just thought we'd show them to people. So, you know, when you think of bassmen, you don't just think spinnerbaits.
Okay, so there's a few recommendations when it comes to flick and surfers. So, Justin, like today, we've spent the morning, no luck off the top, unfortunately.
We've worked our way through the water column so far this morning.
So it's time to mix it up and get under the surface. So what's some of the range that you guys recommend at your Trelley stores? Yeah,
so once again, these are not obviously super big, but been plenty of big fish taken on them. So what we've got here is a couple, once again, sort of exclusive to us in Bendigo. So you've got the old mates and you've got some more Bassman stuff. So we had hard bodies as well. So these are the 100 mil tubbies. There is a smaller tubby, like a 60 mil tubby. We haven't brought them today because we're not sort of using that really small stuff. So with these, 2 metre diver, just a great casting lure for anywhere from a small creek or a river to obviously the Murray, especially when you've got fish sitting high in the water column and they're not prepared to commit to surface. This is a super good option. So I noticed today, Justin, we're flicking surfers, weren't having any luck. We had a lot of carp, a lot of bait coming up and rising and sort of jumping in areas. And I noticed you went to one of these tubbies after the surface lure. So why was that, mate? Well, because the carp I saw jumping were pretty much exactly about that size. And I thought that looks pretty close to one. So I thought, well, you never know. You got to try these things because sometimes that change up can be the key and that can make your day. Bites are few and far between this time of year. So if you can get a bite, and you've got a bit of a hunch, go with it. Didn't work out this morning, but on another day, that could have quite easily turned our day around like that. So really good option post having a flick around on the surface, seeing bait rise and surface, really good option for sort of just getting underneath the surface. They cast like a bullet. I had that one on the Cod Freak this morning. Absolutely send it like an absolute sniper rifle, you know, like it's just Yeah, very, very easy lure to fish and stay high so they don't get a lot of snags.
Yeah.
And yeah, great option early and late, before and after surface. Coincidentally, we've got the Old Mate range of lures. So these are one of Trelley's. So what we've got here are 15 and 25 foot divers in the medium size one. There is an extra large 20 foot diver. So this is only a small portion of the colour range, right?
Yeah.
So this range is huge. There is a 10 footer as well, a very small one for redfin and yellow belly. But these are your sort of go-to mid-size. Anyone can throw them. They're not expensive. Proven lure. This one is very popular.
So that's my, for the viewers at home, that's my go-to. That
Grazer
one there.
loves a tree frog.
So I think I've got about 3 of those, even to the point where my young bloke went and brought one yesterday.
Yes,
so,
correct. And that one there's another really popular one, that natural olive green. Unreal when you got that really good clarity in the river.
And what I like about that lure there, Justin, is I've actually had a bit of luck with that one doing the drift once again on the Murray. And really good lure for sort of, putting it right up against that timber. But I just really love how it's got that transition once again just underneath the lure. So it very much imitates that, that fish flaring up, that it's angry or something's been chased or it's even in distress. But that natural colour is really good, I find, for clear water. So really good versatile lure. Yeah, and there's exclusive to Trelleys. That's right, Justin.
Yeah,
and there's an abundance of colours available. Yep. So if you're looking good versatile hard body for both Murray cod, for yellow belly, even chase and redfin, there's some really good options there. And good value for money, Justin.
Oh yeah, crazy good value. They're just a great lure to start with, and it doesn't matter where you are. If you do lose one, it's not the end of the world. Great for kids, get them going. If you love your trolling, these are fantastic. Just a proven thing.
Yeah, and as you know, guys, for those guys that do watch the channel, you would have seen that I've actually caught a few on the Old Mate of late. So strongly recommend the Old Mate when it comes to a hard body. Spinnerbait. All right, we've hit the middle of the day. We're going to be going out this afternoon and flicking a few around. As you're well aware, there's thousands on the market. So when it comes to spinnerbaits, Justin, what do you guys sell and what would you recommend?
Where do we start?
Where do we start?
We've got a huge wall of spinnerbaits in the shop. Today we're highlighting the Bassman range. So
why Bassman?
Well,
Justin?
Aussie made spinnerbait.
Yep.
Glenn and Sue, they do a really good job. They've been doing it for a very long time. Most people would remember like Cod Almighty and all those things. When I first started cod fishing, that was a big thing back then. Rob McKenzie and Gus Storer and Glenn up there on the Murray, blind casting, massive Murray cod on them. So they're a proven commodity, and we're just going to show off a few of the newer ones and the ones applicable to what we're doing here today.
So they've been on the market a long time. Like I've been fishing for a long time, Justin, and to your point, grew up watching, Rod McKenzie catching those big fish, throwing spinnerbaits when I think spinnerbaits were pretty well first introduced to the market.
They basically pioneered it. Glenn and Rod, especially filming it. It wasn't really done much then, and so to see them going out, cast to catch, metre plus cod, it was a big deal back then, and they're still doing it today.
So obviously there's a lot on the market. There's a lot of different varieties now. So depending on the techniques, the type of fishing that you're doing, there's pretty well a spinnerbait to suit each of those techniques, Justin. Yeah. So what's some of the range that we're going to look at here? So we're obviously chasing cod. That's going to be our target species, and obviously that's what the video is all about. So what's some of the range that you've sort of got on display here, Justin?
So what we got starting at the start here, we got the chatterbaits, or mumblers, Bassman mumbler they're called, in the 1 ounce. They're a bit of a hybrid between a hard body and a spinnerbait. Obviously the blade shakes at the front and creates a lot of vibration, and then you got the big paddle tail coming with it. This is a 1 ounce, sinks rather quickly if fish are holding deeper. it's not a bad option.
Yep.
It just depends on the mood of the fish as to when they're going to go it, but if they do hit these, they tend to hit them extremely hard.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure why, but every time I've caught a fish on a mumbler,
I
they
can
have
vouch for that.
absolutely railed
smashed it.
it.
Yep.
Even the smaller ones.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're great to sink down. You know, you can hop them and vibrate them up, and then sink them down and vibrate them up again and work it down the drop off, or you can just cast out, give your rod tip a flick, and that'll vibrate its way back to the boat.
So that's the mumbler.
That's the mumbler, right.
Yep. All right, so someone like me that likes to use me live tech, Justin, what sort of spinnerbait you recommend there?
Yeah, so what we've got there, we've got a couple of options. So Glenn's come out with the scope baits and the cod jigs.
Yep.
So the big deal with these is they've got a 1 ounce head, so you get that quick sink rate.
Yep.
So as you see that fish cruising along on your live technology, you don't really want a very slow sinking lure. You need a lure that's going to get down to where they are quick, so you can start your retrieve, keep it above their head, all that sort of jazz.
Yep.
So the big deal with these is he's got his twin spin and he's put a smaller blade on it.
Yep.
So it doesn't impede the sink rate a hell of a lot. So instead of that really slow flutter, these will sink down quite quickly.
Okay.
And they still put off a very good vibration. It is very surprising how much vibration you get off the smaller blades. The other big deal with these, as we know, fish on live technology, that because you're keeping it above their head, they will come up underneath and they'll eat underneath the head mostly first. So what you can do is, because you're keeping it above structure and things, you can put a split ring and a swivel and another split ring just like that cod jig there, and then attach a treble hook to that. So that'll increase your hookup rate with the live technology. So that's the big deal with them. It's basically a modified twin spin with the hanger on the bottom to allow for a treble hook.
So following on from the scope baits.
Yep, we just thought we'd show you a cod jig setup here. So Glenn has them rigged out of the box with the split rings and the swivel, but you've just got to attach your own treble. So that's a rigged one there. So all I've done with that is I've just put like a 2.0 treble on there and I've just poked it into the belly. So when you throw that down on your live tech, that's going to come down. You keep that above your fish and your structure. So it's not going to snag up, but when he comes up to eat underneath it, you got a pretty good chance of hooking him rather than just relying on these ones at the top. So
and you don't have to put that treble on,
you
do you?
don't have to.
Yeah.
So
and if you're blind casting, would you recommend putting it on, Justin?
No. So you could use this blind casting, no problem, work it down rock banks, all sorts of good stuff like that. And all you do is you just leave that off. And it would ride timber and that fine. So but mainly for the live technology.
And that's a 1 ounce again, sorry?
They're a 1 ounce head, fairly big plastic, looks about a 7-inch plastic. Got a beautiful wobble and body roll to it. So
perfect.
That's your ticket.
All right, next on the list.
Next on the list, the old school.
Yep.
The old big old spinnerbaits.
Yeah, lovely.
So you got the big DT.
Yep.
The original one with the bigger blades.
And they've been around for a while.
Yeah. So these were like the original big cod slayers. Still catch their fair share of fish. Obviously, you can see the difference there just quickly between the scope bait blades and they're both DTs, but see the difference?
Yep, sure can.
So, yeah, that's why that one sinks quicker. But getting back to this one, just a great lure for blind casting, big snags. Let it sink down, start your retrieve, plenty of presence, plenty of thump. Yep, if you got one in the mood, it's going to go. It's super strong wire on the head. It's going to hold up.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. Coincidentally, you got the big XL there with the single Colorado. Mainly designed for impoundment fishing, so fishing like somewhere like Lake Eildon.
Yeah.
He's got the extra oversized blade. You can see it's a size up again. Single blade, so it's just got a nice flutter down, extra large skirt, plenty of pulse. Yeah, it's just got plenty of fish tracting and presence.
Yeah. And that's something new to the market from Bassman, is it?
Yeah, newer. It's been around a little while, but it is newer.
Yeah.
They're newer to our shop, but they have been around a little while.
Yeah.
They come in different variations, but the single arm is probably the most popular. As we found, we've been throwing them around today, and they've been great to fish with.
So we've had a fair crack with that today, and obviously we're up at Trelley here, so we're sort of in a bit of weir water, so it's actually quite deep.
Yeah.
So when it comes to actually throwing that out, it actually suits this type of water. Yeah, and there is a little bit of current today, a little bit of flow, and it's actually hasn't turned over at all on us.
Yeah, we've found with other spinnerbaits and that, you can get a lot of rolling and stuff, so depending on the plastic, whereas Glenn's got them sort of rigged up here, so they don't tend to catch that much water to make them really roll over on themselves, so they track very true. They work extremely well. Very impressed with these, so we'll be giving these a nudge going further on, especially when the likes of maybe Lake Epilock or something like that.
And that's chartreuse, as you know, my favourite cod colour.
Plenty of good colours. You got pink, orange, purple,
so
black,
plenty
white.
to choose from.
And then moving on to the old Codman series. Once again, been around as long as the DTs. These were all 1 ounce ones because we're fishing the sort of fairly big, deeper water here today. We got a few different ones there. There's a big colour range with these. Once again, this is just a small sample, couple of colours that suit the situation up here. We've gone with the black blades on this one with the oil slick skirts, pretty trick looking spinnerbait. So love
so
that.
what's the go with the colour blades? Why is that, Justin? Why do it hasn't been around for a long time, has it? Is it?
Oh yeah, no, black blades have been around a long time. It's just, you don't see a heap of people running them. I like to run them because I just reckon you get those cagey ones, they might have seen the flash of a spinnerbait possibly being caught. It's not the case with these. It's more makes it like you're just going off the vibration and the thump of the spinnerbait, so it brings it more back like a hard body. There may be some flash if the water's clear, like there's good light penetration, but I just find it's more of a stealthy approach to a spinnerbait, and it does work very well. The black gives it more, like the fish can probably see it from further away, because it's a solid colour. If the water's a bit murky and stuff, we just find pretty neat. It's black. Black always generally works. They're just pretty simple. Nothing too flash going on there, just your big and your small Colorado.
And a really good value for money spinnerbait, those ones.
Yeah, extremely good value for money. Caught a lot of fish, you know.
Yeah, been around forever.
The Codman series also has the 4x4 as well. We got a heap of these in the shop. So they work extremely well, especially in this 1 ounce configuration. Like, it will sink down and all 4 blades will turn on the drop. Like, so very good. Even in shallow water, they work extremely well. You can go a lighter head weight and get that very slow sink, so they'll stay very high. If you're going to fish deeper water with them, you do need to retrieve them extremely slow. Very important. Whereas these will get down a little bit quicker with the inline arm.
So there you go, guys. So when it comes to, obviously, Bassman, as Justin said, has been around for a long time. And when it comes to selecting a range of spinnerbaits, chasing cod, these are Justin's recommendations. Obviously, there's been a lot of advancement over the years, but making sure that you get the right spinnerbait for the type of fishing you're doing, but also taking into consideration depths and currents is really important. So you're making sure that you've got that spinnerbait in the right position. So massive range available. There's also a huge range available for other natives like Goldens and that type of thing as well.
There's way more than this. There's all sorts of different configurations in the smaller sizes, in shorter wires and stuff that are orientated towards bass, Goldens, redfin, you name it. And but this is just a very small sample. Just basically the more like Murray River orientated lures. And so there you have it, guys. Taking some time to have a closer look at the gear I use and also the gear that Justin used when it comes to chasing those green fish. As you can see, the guys at Trelley's got a wealth of knowledge, so if you're looking for some help,
when it comes to chasing those Murray cod, make sure you get down to your local Trelley store and have a chat to the guys here. They're more than willing to help you out. So anyway, boats in the water. We're hitting that bite time in the afternoon. So thanks again for Justin for sharing your knowledge. We're going to go out there and catch a fish. So we'll see you on the next video. Let us know what you think. Thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Cheers.